Okay, so it's been a minute since I've been on here. New year. Welcome to Gallant Sector. I have a movie review today, and they don't get too many views on my channel. I'm not one of the guys who started in 2009 and 10 and everybody comes to see, but I'm going to do it anyway. I still do movie reviews. And this movie is a small movie who I thought was going to be interesting. And I say it's a small movie because I don't think it was as much buzz to it. It's not a summer blockbuster type of movie. But nevertheless, it's this little film by director Robert Zemeckis. I'm always about to call him Zemrick. I do not know why. That's been like that for years. But yeah, Robert Zemeckis, and it's called Welcome to Marwen. I've really enjoyed this movie. Now, I was interested because of the look of it and the feel. If you haven't seen it, watch the trailer. And let me just tell you, the trailer sparks your interest, but it's a really, really good movie. It's got some deep meanings and it has a lot of heart, but it's a lot of fun also. And it's rated PG-13. So I would advise to watch it first before you take any kid that's under the age of 13, especially the younger they are. Because some parts of this movie, since it's imagination with toys that come to life and act out the scenes, and there's a lot of scenes like that. I would say half the film takes place in the imagination of this guy, Hoagie, and the other half of the film in the real world, what he's dealing with. And it's based upon a true story, so things like this really happen, and he really used his imagination to cope with life. But it's so interesting. You see that and you're like, oh my gosh, this looks like something like Toy Story. But it's a little mature. And it's PG-13, so it's not like really graphic, but there is some violence in this. There is some violence. And there's some jokes too. There's some jokes that, you know, you should be mature about. But regardless of that, the story overall, I really enjoyed. Like I said, this movie has a lot of heart. I don't want to give spoilers away really, but I just want to talk about it. And from the opening shot, I just set forward in my chair and I was like, I think I'm going to enjoy this. I was interested. I was hoping this wouldn't suck. Doesn't suck at all to me. Steve Carell is a fantastic actor. I mean, he can do comedy. Michael, come on now, The Office. But he can do comedy, but he also does drama really well. And he can play a person who's hurt, and he can play a person who, you know, has emotional, deep issues, and it comes off on screen really well. It really does. So I really had faith in his acting ability, but he's surrounded by some talent too. And a lot of these characters are also characters in this world he created called Marwen. And he's using that to cope with an issue that happened with him a couple years ago or something like that. He was attacked. It was a hate crime. He's not homosexual or anything, but some guys were looking at him like he was, because he likes to do certain things with women items. Now, the thing I liked about this was his imagination, because I have a very vivid imagination, and I've always had a strong imagination as a kid. And that's how it was for me whenever he wanted to escape into this world of toys and this little town called Marwen that he built during World War II. Me, myself, that's what I used to do. I mean, I didn't have to use that to cope with memory loss and emotional issues, but I would use it in almost any situation. Even now as an adult, yes I do. I get caught in the gym, locker room, fighting Thor, and there's no Thor there. Man, whatever. But yeah, as a kid, doctor's office, school, an adult, at work when I'm bored, things like that, my imagination takes over, and that's what I really enjoyed about this. But besides that, the characters in Marwen, it's him, commanding officer Hoagie, who I love. He was terrific. He was funny. The dude was tough. And then there's all his the ladies of Marwen, who are ladies in his real life, a co-worker, somebody who works at the hobby shop, toy store, or that he gets his equipment and stuff from. Next door neighbor becomes a new character. And then he has this other character, this witch of Marwen, that messes things up for him, his relationships when anybody gets too close. It was just fun. It was fantastic. It was a wonderful time. He really used his imagination to construct these stories, which he would take pictures of and sell as an art, because he used to be a comic book illustrator. I love the movie. And if you see the trailer, or if you think you're interested in going to go see it. And if you did see it, let's discuss some of the things you loved about the movie down below, even things you didn't like. Let's talk about it. It's a really good movie. Starting off the year as my first video with that review. I wanted to do some other ones. I'm getting to those. But I really enjoyed that film, and I couldn't wait to do this review. I saw it about 2 days ago, and I'm just getting to the review now. Had some things going on, but I love the film. It's Robert Zemeckis, Castaway, Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, numerous other films that I think you would like or you loved. And I could tell when it was, I was like, who directed this? It feels like Joe Johnston or Robert Zemeckis, and these are guys from back in the day, these directors, epic films and really good films, and they know how to do adventure really well. But they've been doing films lately, and they've been putting, they're with the times, but they still got that old classic style of directing that you can tell. And when I saw Robert Zemeckis, I forgot he directed this. His name came up at the end, and I was just like, that's why I like this so much. That's why it was so good, among other things. But it's a fantastic film, and I can't recommend it enough. Go see it. I think you're in for a good time at the movies. It's funny. It's got heart. It's a deep story at times. It got dark a few times with some of the violence, but it's in toy, imaginative formation or whatever. But please go see it. It's a good film. I recommend seeing it, especially to start the film off. I mean, the year off. It's January. Why not? That's my review. Like the video if you like the video. It really helps out on these channels now, so it gets the popularity up. See you next time.